My name is Doug Westendorp, and I'm an artist, and I also teach here at AI. My art, I talk about my art as in terms of a contemplative engagement. There's never been a movement in art history of contemplative art, but contemplative art moves through all of art history. It's off the beaten trail stuff. It's not the stuff that makes people famous as a rule. So it wasn't all about a particular medium, and it still isn't. Right? So I'm all over the board when it comes to media. I'm doing these still life sculptures out in the environment, as we like to call it, outdoors, as we used to call it. I'm translating Chinese poetry. That's probably the furthest afield that I've gone. But what unites it all is this contemplative attitude. On the cover of this book, you can see I did a cut paper design. And inside the book, these are my translations of Chinese poetry with some of my own poems. And so I use some of that cut paper on the inside. I'm big on a drawing a day sketchbook, a journal. And one year I did a journal on disappearing paper. You guys know about the paper that if you paint on it with water, it looks like ink, and then it evaporates, and then you can use it over and over again. Well, when all of the photo places around town were going digital, they were getting rid of copy stand stuff real cheap. So I bought this copy stand and put a cheap camera on there. And so every night for my journal, I did a painting on that, and then I just took a slide with that camera there. And then the journal entry disappeared, of course. So the only thing remaining is these images that look like ink, but they're really disappearing water. So this is the documentation of that process then. So these are two steps in the same one, where they get softer as they evaporate, and the edges get softer. You get a little more grays showing up. The media has obviously changed, and they surprise me constantly. If you would ask me 3 years ago if I'd be working on Chinese poetry translations, I would say, who's got time for that, right? You follow your impulses. I was just talking to somebody one day, and we were talking about our different Chinese poetry translations and realizing how different these translations are from each other, and realizing we'd have to get back to the original Chinese in order to understand what we were looking at there. And so the more we compared, the more we got into the original Chinese, and I pursued it. And you follow your nose with these sorts of things. So the contemplative attitude is not ambitious. It's not neurotic. It's not about me. It's about this discovery process. So what you discover is what you work with. I'm not a big fan of neurotic art. I'm not a big fan of art that is about neurotic acting out, if you know what I mean. There's a lot of attention-getting behavior in the art world, which you would expect because it's very competitive. And if you're ambitious, you have to do something no one else has thought of, and you have to get on the radar somehow. I don't think my art will be remembered. I think it'll be lost in the shuffle at some point. I'm not doing anything anyway to promote it or make sure that it's kept safe. In fact, the original artwork, like I was showing you, disappears, and only the documentation lasts. How long will that last? If somebody hangs on to the photographs after I'm gone, I've got 3 kids, so maybe they'll hang on to some of that stuff. But they don't have any kids, so I don't know if there will be generations. It might end up at the Salvation Army. And might end up